is Lexi with Lexi's Healthy Dynamic Life, and I am going to be sharing with you a very beautiful, amazing guest speaker, Della Upsher from Della's Raw Food Journey. She's going to be a speaker at the UK Fruit Festival, and she has something very exciting to share with you. Thank you, Della.
Okay, so when I went to my doctor after a healing crisis, the doctor actually said to me that you've got a UTI, a urinary tract infection. And I was already into raw at this time. Wasn't with my Nature's Cure practitioner, so I didn't know the answer to this, but she gave me antibiotics to take. And she said she wanted me to go back in a month. I didn't take the antibiotics, I just ate my fruit. I did my 3-day fast, carried on eating my fruit. When I went back a month later to be retested, I didn't have a urinary tract infection. So, and then I went with my Nature's Cure practitioner. She said, whatever you do, if you get flu-like symptoms or you're not well, don't go by the blood test, because what's happening is your blood is heating up, it's carrying out the toxins. So your blood test is going to show that you've got a UTI infection, a urinary tract infection. And it happened to me again. And I had to open my mouth and actually say to the doctor, well, last time I didn't take the antibiotics, I just carried on eating my fruit, and I was going through a healing crisis. So she looked at me and she said, well, it's not what we actually, what we actually teach. But then my husband had a urinary tract infection, and he was on my diet, and she said, well, you know what you did? I couldn't believe it, because she said, well, you know what you did for yourself, do the same for your husband then, you know. But when I did go back, and because I'm not with a doctor anymore, I am registered, but I don't use a doctor anymore. But when I did go back for my final time, she said, you know, like, really, you've either got to do one thing or the other. You know, you've either got to, we prescribe medication, you know, like, it's pointless you come in to us. But I needed to go there for my blood test. That's why, because I earned the right from having a triple heart bypass and everything else wrong with me. I used to have to go every 3 months to have 4 months for my repeat prescriptions and everything, and every year I'd have to go on the treadmill, and you know, they'd update my medication and things, but they never said anything to me when I could only do 9 minutes and I could suddenly do however many minutes they wanted. They don't want to know. And the actual cardiologist, actually, because I took a translator with me, and they would even, you know, well, you're not listening to what they're doing, what's the point, you know. And the cardiologist actually said that if you're not going to take the medication, it's pointless us seeing you anymore. So I haven't been to a cardiologist since. But I will just say this as well. The old cardiologist left for some reason. I went to the next year, and it was a new cardiologist, and he stepped me to one side and he said, look, I have, and this is true what I'm actually saying to you, he said to me, I have to tell you to take this medication in this practice, but if you come to me privately in my practice, it would be a different story. And then, you know, I was hoping that I would see him the next year that I went, and it was the old one come back, and he was just horrible, you know. But with my husband, I did still, because my husband was on the heart valve. My husband had to have, you know, his main aorta, a heart valve change. And my husband, before I put him raw, and he did say he would go raw because he didn't want to be the way that he was. He accepted that he needed to go raw. And, you know, the blood was flashing back when we went to see the cardiologist, and they wasn't sure what they were going to do about it. And but the next time that Brian went, the blood wasn't flashing back, and Brian didn't need to take any of the medication. It was only the Syntron that I really didn't take him off, that I thought he needed to stay on, and it was the Syntron that caused his demise. I don't want to scare anybody that is going the medical route, because we do need to earn our way off the medicine, or off of the, and I believe you me, most people, there's some that, you know, if we got thyroid, if there's thyroid problems and we've already had intervention, we might have to take medication for life. But if you know, because the thing is, if I carried on taking my blood pressure tablets and my blood pressure had gone to perfect, then it's dangerous. So I would advise anybody that's in a really serious condition like I was, although I never went with a practitioner because I didn't know at that time, I just started reading the books and everything. I would say that, you know, O'Reilly is out there, and, you know, there are doctors, there are alternative doctors that you can go with. You can have blood tests, and they can see by your blood test that you can actually come off some of the medicines or all of the medicines that you're actually on. So that's what I forgot to. So every time I have a healing crisis, I will have a urinary tract infection, and I'll not even know it. I won't get any stinging or burning, but that's the power of the body, because the body is the toxins are in the blood then, and it's a blood test that you actually have, and you're prescribed all these medications, when really all the body's trying to do is heal itself. We don't need any intervention whatsoever.
Thank you, Della. The power and the magic of the body and its healing process. I certainly can relate to what you shared. I went to the doctor. They said I had hypothyroidism and I would need to take this medication for life. And I thought, this just doesn't sound right. So I'm so grateful that I didn't choose to take a medication and went the healing route of raw foods. And so thank you very much for sharing those insights with us. We're going to be posting a full video of our podcast interview in the next coming week, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe to Lexi's Healthy Dynamic Life, and I hope you all have a happy, healthy, and dynamic day. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.